I just watched Spider-Man Brand New Day, and yes, it looks like I am in Peter Parker's room right now, but no, this is just my own room and I am painting the walls. Anyway, you should watch Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I'm gonna tell you today why. This will be a spoiler-free and also a spoiler review, but I will let you know when the spoiler review will start so I can give you a heads up from when you should click away. But please come back when you have then watched the movie because I have theories about the movie and how things will turn out in the future. So let's just get started. In Spider Man Brand New Day, we follow the events of Spider Man No Way Home. Peter Parker has now been Spider Maning for 4 years after this movie, where everybody forgot about Peter Parker and who he is. So even his own girlfriend and friends. He's been defeating a lot of enemies and helping out the city of New York, who really loves Spider Man. And every now and then, he still checks up on MJ and Ned, of course. He lives on his own and also works together with the Punisher. Also, there's a new character in town, and this character is controlling people's minds. Spider Man has to figure out a way who this person is, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and why, and how to stop them, of course. This is all I will say about the movie because the trailers also didn't give us much. I gotta be honest, I love this. I love this movie. I love the fresh takes this has. It's directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who also directed Shang-Chi and Wonder Man. Sadly, Wonder Man Season 2 just got cancelled, but I think that's because he is going to be directing Spider-Man 5 as well. Will it have Brand in every title? Will it have New in every title or Day? I don't know if it's even going to be like the Home trilogy or that it's gonna have just new titles every movie, but if I had to make a guess, it's gonna be the word new if they're gonna stick to that. Anyway, I just love his take on Spider-Man. You really feel like New York is a huge city and Spider-Man is swinging through it. Also, the swinging animation or the styles that Spider-Man is swinging, it's all directly out of the Insomniac Spider-Man PS4 or PS5 games, which I really love. There are a couple things though that I don't like about this movie, but I still think it's the best Spider-Man MCU movie we have had so far. So I can't wait to see more of what this director has to bring to Spider-Man. Also, just want to say this means nothing of what John Watts did with Spider-Man. He did also an amazing job. I mean, hello, he directed No Way Home. Also, Mysterio is one of my favorites villains, and he brought him to the big screen, so I gotta always thank him for that. But just these two have their own unique styles to Spider-Man, and they bring what they see with Spider-Man. Both of them did a great job, but it's also just nice to have a fresh new take on the character and brings him to life. Also, he's, like I said, been doing this for 4 years, and in these 4 years, he has met new characters like Detective the Wolf, who is like his Jim Gordon to his Batman. They're working together to stop crime, people doing bad stuff. He just has this sort of tracker or police thing that he knows when crime is happening where. Also, Ned made a tracker, by the way. He's made Spidey tracker just so he knows where Spider-Man is all the time. But I'm going to get into that later. He also is working with, Peter is working with Bruce Banner, but he doesn't know that. At least Bruce Banner doesn't know that. But just also great relationships there because we've never really seen Spider-Man and the Hulk in the MCU together, actually anywhere. So it's just nice to see these big Marvel names working together finally. The character you will see the most as a side character is the Punisher. I've never seen anything of the Punisher, so no Punisher shows before this. I never really cared about the Netflix Marvel shows, but I did really like the Punisher in this movie. I was surprised about how much I was gonna like the character. John Bernthal did an amazing job, so let me tell you something about that. He did an amazing job. And just great because these two actors have known each other for such a long time. John Bernthal even helped Tom Holland record his audition for Peter Parker or Spider-Man, so it's just great to finally see these two together on the big screen. You can really tell that they have some great friendship outside of this movie. Now, I will get into Sadie Sink character, but that will be in the spoiler review spoiler part of this review. And like I said, Spider-Man does check up on MJ and Ned in this movie, so I'm glad that they are still in it. Great characters as always. These actors also aged up, of course, because, well, it's been so long since we had a Spider-Man movie, but you can tell that they really get better at acting with every movie as well. So I think it's just a great Spider-Man movie altogether, and every character just fits and does a perfect role, except for one. which I will get into later. Now, the Spider-Man suit I want to get into actually. Actually, yeah, I really want to get into that Spider-Man suit, but I love that it is a practical suit. He really wore it on set. No CGI suit this time, and you can feel it's different to look at it. It's way better. I love the colors. I love how simple it is. So no more Iron Man tech, but it's just great. Also, the trailer versus the movie. If you haven't watched the movie yet and you think, the trailer isn't really getting me into it, the movie is different than the trailer. The trailer just gives you parts of the beginning and then nothing of the end, which, is what a trailer should do, but you don't know what it's about. You will find that out in the movie itself. Now, I'm just going to give you my review or the rating of the movie before I will go to the spoiler talk. Yeah, I think this is the best Spider-Man MCU movie. I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars just because it's so great. Also, it's gonna be on the fourth spot of movies that I've seen this year, which I've seen many great movies this year, so that's saying a lot. I can't wait to see more of this version of Spider-Man and the way that it's being directed right now. I hope it's gonna be soon. We'll never know, of course. Maybe it's another 4 years or 5 years that we have to wait. I think it's been 5 years now, right? Anyway, this will be now the spoiler part of the review. So you're gonna have like 3 seconds still to get out before I will talk all spoilers. So hope you're gone. But do come back after you have watched the movie, of course. Okay, Jean Grey. As much as I like the movie, and I of course like Jean Grey, I think this movie could have really used a real Spider-Man villain, like Mr. Negative, to really follow the games. Because I didn't feel the connection between why Spider-Man should be fighting Jean Grey, of why she is using him. I did get it spoiled, by the way, by Empire Magazine because they posted on their Instagram a couple comics that you should read before going to Brand New Day, and one of those comics was Jean Grey, so thank you, Empire Magazine, for doing that. Other than that, she just reminded me a lot of Max from Stranger Things, so I hope Sadie Sink's acting will get a little better, or that she can, divide these characters. But it's also like the other actors have been doing this character for so long, and she is just new into the MCU or new with this character. So she has to find really her way into this character. I'm gonna say character a lot. Maybe I should say Jean Grey so I can get in the algorithm. Jean Grey, Jean Grey. I'm not wearing gray jeans, but Jean Grey is in the movie. But I do think it could have really used like a Mr. Negative. We do see Scorpion, of course, in the trailer, and even Tombstone, and I think I also saw Rhino in the actual movie, but none of these characters get more screen time. Scorpion gets the most, but even after like the first act of the movie, he's forgotten and he's not returning. I do wish he had a even bigger part. I do love the Scorpion suit. It could have been maybe a little more green, but I do like the tail that he has, the Scorpion tail. It works. It really works. Now also Hulk not being too much into the movie. It's not too much of a letdown, but what you see in the trailer is what you get basically. But it's just I expected the Hulk to be more in it, but it's not a negative anyway, Mr. Negative. But the fight scene that Spider-Man has with the Hulk, and when the Punisher joins, and you also knowing Jean Grey is here.
Get your special sock out, nerds. It's gonna get good.
It's like these four big characters of Marvel all in this fight scene, and that really feels cool to just watch, because that's what the MCU is to me. What it's about is bringing these characters all together, like setting them up and then meeting them in new movies and seeing what their relationship will be like. And these characters are fighting, I guess, but it's still just cool to see. Now I want to get into the credit scene, because we see that Spider-Man is missing. We saw him at New York. I think it's just in his home, and then he's gone, and then he's working in space, or he's just in space. Now, a lot of people think that this is because he got teleported to Battle World for Secret Wars. And I think originally Doomsday was going to be released before Spider-Man Brand New Day, but that got pushed back, of course, because we're going to get that in December. But because it's just it's a simple credit scene, so you could have made that after the decision of Doomsday going to be after Spider-Man. But why is he in space? Well, of course, the theory could still be correct that he got teleported to Secret Wars, but does Doctor Doom have the power to teleport? I don't know. I don't think so. Just what's the reason? And why would Spider-Man then not have been announced for Doomsday to begin with? Well, in the Thunderbolts credit scene, we get an actual scene directed by the Russo brothers that is for Doomsday. In this scene, Yelena, before that the Fantastic Four ship comes in, Yelena already talks about there being a space crisis that nobody is telling them about. Now, I think this connects with the Marvels, because Monica Rambeau went through this rift, like this dimensional rift, and ended up in the X-Men universe. Maybe somehow there are more opening. We don't know. and that thing is getting closer to the sword system or wherever, and that they are trying to get the smartest people from Earth because none of the Thunderbolts are. Maybe Spider-Man can solve it, and that Spider-Man is somehow working with swords to solve this problem, and that's why he maybe will be just seen in Doomsday really shortly, but he's got some problems to work with. So we get the other teams to deal with Doctor Doom. Because also, how could the Fantastic Four just show up in our universe? You know, they don't have the power, at least I don't think so, that they have the power to just, you know, jump to a new universe. Only America Chavez can do that, but I don't think she is going to be with the Fantastic Four. So that's just what I think. I will make a other video in the future making a better theory, more worked out about Doomsday, but why would there be a space crisis, you know, and then Spider-Man being in space? I think that's also just a logical thing for Spider-Man to then help out the space crisis because the Thunderbolts don't know about it. So Spider-Man maybe does. Also, talking about Yelena, I got uncomfortable with that Yelena scene in Brand New Day. I don't care about, I mean, I love Yelena, and I don't care about if a character in a movie gets, you know, nudity. That doesn't make me uncomfortable, but just the shot staying too long on it and it maybe not being necessary, it got me thinking, like, does Marvel do this for, you know, the gooners? Because that's not what I am. So it was kind of weird. Like, maybe just give her a little something that we know she's wearing clothes, because this was kind of weird to just see her that whole scene without, you know, wearing anything, and her being in the water, by the way. So you don't see anything, because kids are going to watch this movie and then they're going to see like a half naked Yelena. I think that's just weird. Just made for the gooners, I guess. Now, like I said, I gave it 4.5 stars. I think it could have been a 5 stars if it actually used a Spider-Man villain. I wonder why Jean Grey is going to show up in Secret Wars and not in Doomsday. Maybe everybody does get teleported that has superpowers. Will Doomsday just leave out Hawkeye because he's retired or not? That's another question I have. My girlfriend thought the movie was 3.5 stars or 4 stars, and she had never seen a Spider-Man movie. She only saw Iron Man as a MCU movie and the Fantastic Four, and now this one. So the movie still getting like 3.5 to 4 stars is actually a big deal for your fourth Spider-Man movie. She didn't understand everything, of course. Her favorite character was Frank, so the Punisher, which I really understand. And she only liked Spider-Man when he wasn't wearing his suit or the mask. So when it was just Tom Holland, she thought that he was way hotter than in a Spider-Man suit. Maybe I should be concerned about that, but hey, I got to look at a Yelena scene in the bathtub, so I guess we're even. Anyway, this was my review, spoiler-free and spoiler of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Let me know if you have any theories about this movie. Also, let me know just what you thought of the movie and if you enjoyed it. And I will see you all in the next video.